Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Dee-Brief with Dr. D. Real talk, real strategy, real leadership, one insight at a time. I'm your host, Dr. D, and this is your space for bold conversations, soul deep reflections, and truth that transforms. Whether you're an executive, an entrepreneur, or an everyday change agent, this podcast is for you, navigating both public success and that private struggle. Each episode, we take a deep dive into emotional wellness, grief recovery, faith, leadership, and the tools you need to rise with clarity and with purpose. This isn't just strategy, it's healing. It's a calling. This is the Dee-Brief with Dr. D. Let's get into it.
Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Debrief with Dr. D. Real talk, real strategy, real leadership, one insight at a time. I am your host, Dr. D, and we have another exciting guest today. I am so thrilled to have with us Mirah Young. Am I pronouncing your first name right?
Mirror, like mirror on the wall.
See, I was going to say that. Wow, I love that. And her story and her journey is just amazing. So it's going to be a great conversation. Mira, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
I know we've been trying to get together for a while now, so it's ordained in God's timing, I tell you.
It is because there's so many things to talk about. We're probably going to have to do a part two to this or something. So when someone asks you who Mira is, what would you say? I would introduce you, but I feel like I like for my guests to introduce themselves. What would you say if someone said, "Who is Mirah Young?"
If someone asked me that, I would first tell them that I am a servant of God. I am a woman that leads myself before I lead others, and I am uh in the world. I am an author. I am a change maker, but more importantly, I am a woman that carries out the vision and sees it through and follow through with that vision. But if you read my bio, it would say I'm a speaker, I'm an author, and I am a vice president of a staffing company.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love how you started with who you are as an individual in your world of faith and in your mission and your purpose and your superpower, as I
Yeah.
like to say. And then you went to who you are in your profession because a lot of times people identify themselves as their profession. And
Mm.
that's not who we are. We are who we are in our core and in our being. So I love that you did that. So, our podcast is about helping individuals and having conversations, real conversations, where we can heal hearts, change people's lives, and I like to say, instill hope for people who may be in a situation where they don't have any hope and they're going through something and they feel like they're alone.
Mhm.
So I know you have an amazing story and an amazing journey. So share a little bit with us about your journey and the moments that shaped your journey towards healing.
I love this question because I feel like it's a loaded question. Some of the earliest moments that shaped me were honestly from the pain and the struggle. I watched my mom become someone that the world say she couldn't become. From a young age, my mom lost over 6 people in her life within the span of 2 years. And these are prominent people in her life before having me. So, as she had me, you can imagine how fragile she was. Not to mention, she was not only fragile, but young. So, this showed me how to deal with fragmented people, but not only, and also deal with my own wounds silently. So, from the fragments of my mom putting herself back together and me watching that and how she carried herself and how she dealt with herself, it helped me to be able to carry the weight that was going to come on me. And it helped me to be able to navigate not only my pain, my stress, but also the pain of others. So these moments really made me who I am, from watching my mom and watching her. My mom was a teenage pregnant. She had a teenage pregnancy. So from that point, you can become a statistic or you can become the change, a transformer. And my mom did make that change and she became a transformer. And that catapulted me to say, it's not about what people say or think that you're going to be. It's about what you're going to do with the cards that God has dealt you. So I believe that it those moments shaped who I am. Those moments created my perseverance, my tenacity to keep on going when it doesn't look like it's any end of the road. And those moments also shape my leadership to know that you can let someone create your narrative or you can become the narrative that God has created for you and you can walk in his purpose. So knowing that it was two sides of the coin, and a quote that she says is, well, the quote that she created is, I have a choice and a chance. And when I realized I have a choice and a chance, I said, I'm going to take this chance and I'm going to make the right choice. So I believe that in the journey of watching my mom, and she wasn't a single mother, but she was a strong woman in her own right, in business, in leadership. And that kind of molded me to become a leader in my own right. But as we all know, dealing with family sometimes it can be a challenge. So I think it taught me to not only speak from my heart to heal those fragmented parts of me that may have come from from the situations that I experienced around me, but also to identify how can I be better for the next generation? How can I be better and understand the bigger picture and my purpose, beyond, beyond what I've seen and beyond that choice and the chance. So I hope I answered your question. That was very long winded, but yes, let's keep going.
No, yeah, that was fine. And thank you for sharing that, because you touched on so many different things, like the strength of your mom as a teen mom, how losing so many people in a short period of time, how it could have stopped her, but it didn't. A lot of us, I recently lost 12 members of my family in span of 6 years. Over the past 5 years, my entire childhood household passed away, my mother, my father, and my sister,
Mhm,
and left me alone, which is
mhm,
part of the reason why I'm doing this work related to grief and the books that I've written related to it. So it just speaks to the resilience of your mom and being able to move forward and raise you and continue her life and her legacy. So you just help so many people right now with sharing that story. So I want to ask you, what gave you the courage? And courage may not be the right word, but what made you start speaking about your journey, your mom's journey? Why are you sharing this intimate part of your life? And what do you hope people get from it?
to answer your first question, silence no longer served me. I was I come from a generation of, you keep it in the household. You keep everything a secret. Women are hidden. You stay behind. You don't you're not upfront and you're not truthful with yourself, so you can't be truthful with the world. And I wanted to break that because I believe that has put so many women in bondage, to be silent, to silence not only your feelings, but to silence your story. And I believe that put my family in bondage. And I wanted to break that stronghold. I wanted to break that off of us because we had so much that we had to overcome and so much that we did already overcome, but the courage would not let us speak. And the devil was on us heavy, as far as the strongholds of stay silent, stay down, is going to be okay, stay loyal, And it's like you have to get up and speak. And that's one thing that the devil doesn't want you to speak your truth and to get out there and say what needs to be said. Because I seen in a lot of my family lineage, women stay silent. And I refuse to do that. And that's what got me on the journey to say, well, if this is happening for me, this is probably happening in other people's household where women are silent and they just do it, they just do is a do or die situation. And what I want anyone listening to get from this is that whatever journey you're on right now, it is going it is pruning you for something better.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're on a great journey right now, even if it's like it's good, it's going to get better if you stay the course. It may be somebody that's listening that needs to know that once you feel the fire, you're one step closer to where God wants you to be. So don't give up. Don't give up on God. Don't give up on yourself, and truly continue the course. When it gets very, very hard, that means you're really, really close. So just stay in there.
Yes, you're almost there. It's like you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. The closer
Right.
you get to victory, the harder it is going to be. So, that's amazing. That's great advice. And I'm sure people who are listening probably feel like, oh my God, I thought I should quit because it's getting closer and closer to the victory because I'm feeling so much more pain. Like the weight of what you're carrying continues to come through. So, how has reclaiming your voice, making sure that you speak out about what is happening, what you've experienced, not allowing circumstances to silence you and breaking that bondage, right, that you've seen in your family, how has that changed you? How has that changed how you see yourself and how you show up?
It reminded me that I'm not just surviving, that I am the living legacy. And that put me in a mindset of understanding I have to not only speak, but like you have written books. I wanted to write a book, not because I just wanted to tell everybody, oh, I'm an author, but I wanted to write this book because before my grandma passed, she left us a diary. That diary that she left us was the last thing that we had virtually to be able to hear her voice, hear her thoughts, but hear the vulnerable moments. Because you have conversations with people, and people are not going to be that vulnerable all the time. They're not going to tell you their truth, their hurt, their pain, but they may write it down. And I wanted to write it down to be able to one day give it to my grandchildren or great grandchildren when I'm not here to say, you can feel my thoughts, you can hear what I went through, my challenges, and know that you can overcome that. Know this is how you navigate this. And I wanted to give something back to be the living legacy now so that people can navigate through different challenges. So it's really just a reminder for me that I'm not what I've survived against, but now it's time to build upon. It's time to build. It's time to grow, and it's time to not sulk in everything that you have been through, but to make that your stepping stool, your pedestal for the things that you've learned through those seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so important. Have you completed the book?
Yes,
Yes.
it's right
Talk
here.
talk about it.
So this book is the Mirah Method. It's 7 stories from my life, 7 scriptures, and it is 7 journal entries. So this book, and I have a chapter in here called Be the Living Legacy,
Yeah.
because I want people to be the legacy today. Don't wait till you pass away for people to say that you're a great person. So really,
Wow.
this is about transforming your reflection to action. It was a time where I looked in a mirror and I did not like what I see. And that's why this is my tagline. Do you like what you see in the mirror? And the goal of this book is to find to take 7 days to become the most authentic you, to get back in alignment with Christ, get back in alignment with your body, and to love who you are again when you look in the mirror. And I played off of my name, Mirah. That's why in the beginning I said mirror, mirror on the wall.
I was was just, I was thinking that as you were speaking, God he doesn't waste our pain. He doesn't make any mistakes. I don't even know, does your family realize the significance and how they help path your journey with your name?
Mm.
The mirror method, Mirah Young. I didn't like what I saw when I looked in the mirror. Do you like what you see when you look in the mirror? Everything you're saying, it may seem like you're tagging on to your name, but your steps are ordered. So your name at birth has mapped out everything that you're doing now and how you're flowing into people's lives. And you don't realize, because some people don't even have a mirror in their house because they don't like what they see. Some
Yeah.
people don't listen to their voice because they don't like how they sound. But your book and what you just said, okay, darling, you need to stop because I can just go
No,
on.
no way.
You are sowing into the lives of people who can't even look at themselves
Yeah.
just through your name.
Yeah.
And I just thank your mother for that, or whoever named you, for sowing into your spirit and how you're using it now.
Thank you. And I know people, they look at me and they may see this perfect image, but it was a time I didn't like what I seen in the mirror. And the reason that is because I was in a near-death experience where I was almost never able to walk again. And that experience transformed my life. And I probably should have started there. But that
Uh,
that experience transformed my life because I was in a car accident and I had emergency surgery. It took me almost a year to get mobility back in my leg. And from that, that's when I took that tenacity to lean on God and know that even in that doctor's office, when the doctor told me, you may never be able to walk again, I said, God didn't tell me that. And I only work for the Lord. Okay. So we're going to follow what the biggest is saying. So I know that sometimes things may seem one way on the surface, but if you're watching this, I don't want you to look like, what she know about not looking in the mirror? What she know about this?
right,
I'm telling you, I've been there and I did not like what I seen. I did not like that I was to not able to walk. I had to get in a wheelchair, go on campus around in a golf cart. I'm young. I'm struggling to see myself as who I was in that season. And that is the importance of, it's only a season if you make it and not a lifetime. So I did not like what I seen. And that's how I got to that 7-day revelation. Because not only am I talking about being the living legacy, I'm also talking about doing a frequency fast, to fast from food, to fast and pray, to understand that you can heal yourself through Christ. Christ will heal you. And I really had to lean on that and not on my own understanding, because I didn't understand anything. And at that time, I didn't have the understanding I have now, but all I knew was that they said God gonna do it. So he better come through, And I didn't have the power and the authority that I have now to command things. But what I've learned throughout this season and throughout that season in my time in my life was that I didn't need anything but faith, but hope, and to just get up and try again. And this is really for that person that they're tired of getting up. They're tired of trying again. They're tired of being at their job. They're tired. And they're just like, I don't want to get up and try again, girl. It sound good, but why?
right.
Because it's something at the end of that tunnel, like Dr. D said, it's something at the end of that tunnel that is waiting for you that is greater. So I wanted to, I want people to know that it doesn't matter what it looks like now, because you have to go through the fire to get where you're going.
That's right. That's right. You are a walking miracle.
Yes.
You are here. Your mother had you at a difficult time. You went through a difficult situation, but you are here and you are using your life to help others. That's amazing and so profound. I want to talk about your faith because you've mentioned your faith a lot in this conversation. I know you're a person of faith, and it reminds me I'm going to send you something when we get off this call. What is it about faith that you believe helped you on your journey? How did you utilize faith to help you in your transition to ensure that you weren't silenced? And how is it helping you live out your purpose now?
Um, I, that question is very interesting. I feel like I'm gonna give you two different scenarios. When I first became first gave my life to Christ and first started in the faith journey, I did not I felt like I had to do a lot. I felt like being faith without works is dead. You gotta work. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. God is not gonna honor it. And if he's not gonna honor it, so I found myself trying to obtain the grace of God or obtain the miracles through my works. As I grow in faith with God, I realize that my stillness increases my faith because a lot of the movement that I was doing was by my will alone. And it wasn't ordained by God. It wasn't those steps were not what God wanted me to do. But I couldn't see that because I was still so I always had transactional relationships where I do something for you, you do something for me. So I felt
Right.
God worked the same way. I do something for God, he do something for me. And that was not the case. I didn't have to do anything and God still was going to do something for me. He was still going to bless me. He was still going to love me. And I couldn't understand that because the relationships that I've had with people have been transactional and they haven't been, I'm going to love you just as you are, even if you do nothing for me. So when I leaned not on my own understanding and I started to lean into Christ and I started to lean into say, you know what, I'm just going to be still. That's when my faith started to increase. That's when I started to know that God is moving because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I was trying to make it happen. I felt like is my faith, is my action, is my will, me. So I do believe being still helped to increase my faith and being in hearing and listening and not always speaking, and trying to pray my way out of it, but hearing from God in those times of silence has helped me to increase within my faith and increase the walk and be guided on the path versus try to tell God, I think I know where we're going, and
Right.
he like,
You'll just laugh. Really? We'll just wait for you to finish and let me do my work.
right.
Wow, that's amazing, and that's deep because in one of my books, FPS Freedom Positioning System, is about a journey of how to be free from different things that keep you bound, and one chapter is about the freedom from control, and you
Mm,
just talk about that, wanting to control the situation, me, those three voices we hear: Satan's voice, God's voice, and our voice of it being me. Um, so you are helping other people, excuse me, in your work and in your business. Talk to us about that. What are you doing? How are you sewing into the lives of other people tangibly? What does that look like?
So, in my day to day, what I do is I help people stop living from paycheck to paycheck by offering them positions with our staffing firm. When I'm not doing that, I am now doing personal development coaching. What I see a lot of the time is people, they have amazing professional lives, or maybe they can work on their professional lives, but their personal life is in shambles, disorganized, no principles, no discipline. So I wanted to bring that to women that are entrepreneurs, and I have done that. So it kind of goes hand in hand with the work that I do today, where I'm assisting people with jobs because it's more than just you getting a job. It's about you. It's about your stature. I could talk to somebody and be like, I already know you ain't gonna stay, or or I could talk to somebody and I know that they may stay because what is their driving force. If they just had and if they just had one more, leg up, they would be in a better position. Or if they had one more day and an hour, they would be in a better position. But it's like, okay, how do you manage your time? How do you use the resources you have around you? So I help and guide women on that journey of how to do that. And when I'm not doing that, I have a free Facebook AI platform where I have all free tools on AI, from a guide on AI. A lot of people talk about use these platforms, but I have a free book that you can download, and it really just goes into the pricing, what tools you should use. Go and get a free trial, set a reminder to cancel your free trials. This is how you make avatars, all of that, just for free, because the information is free already. But I want people to succeed in their business, be able to automate their business using AI. And then if they need me, they can, reach out to me and we can talk more. But really, I'm just in the business of helping others and trying to continue to grow my community.
Yeah, that's so important because it's hard to find people who want to help others, and do it because of a genuine love and passion for helping people. You said something very profound. You want to grow your community, and that's something really, really important because we need that, right? We're not on this earth alone. We live in community with other people, and to help people on their healing journey, on their professional journey, it's all aligned and it syncs together. So if you are an entrepreneur, but your personal life is in shambles and you need assistance with that, reach out to Mirah Young,
Yeah.
because she can help you get both in alignment so you can be successful. Before I ask you how people can reach out to you, what's a word of advice or something you want to leave with anyone who's watching that may be going through any situation that you mentioned or that you have lived experience with, to instill hope into them so they know that they can get through it and they can move forward?
What I want to tell people, I guess this is, I'll tie everything in a bow that I said previously, but that your story has power. The same things that you thought have disqualified you have qualified you in rooms that you thought you would never be in. It is time to take back your power and not be afraid of your story, because you're still writing it.
Mm. Oh, I love that. I love that. I must send you something from yesterday. I'm going to send it to you as soon as we get off this call because you just really aligned so many things. And there are so many people who are listening who are really in need of what you have to offer. So, how can people find you? How can they find your book?
So my book is on Amazon. I have a couple copies at home that I'm actually sending out for free 99, because I have a whole bunch of copies of these, and on Amazon it's Kindle only. These books, I'm writing a second edition, where it's just packed with more faith, finances, and follow through, and a little bit of fitness, because I realized that I went through that journey, but I didn't really highlight it as much in the book. So I really want to focus on faith, finances, and follow through in my next book. So if you just want a journal, hit me up. I'll definitely send you one, and just give you some encouraging scriptures. So you can follow me at I am Mirah Young on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. I am Mirah Young, same like it is right below, Mirah Young, like forever young. And I thank you so much for having me, Dr. D, and thank you guys for watching.
This has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for being here, Mirah. It was great talking to you. Thank you again, everyone, for joining another episode of the Dee-Brief with Dr. D. Take care.
Well, thank you for joining me today on the Dee-Brief with Dr. D. If this episode spoke to your heart, share it with someone who needs a word of hope and clarity. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and connect with our social media community. And remember, healing is not weakness, it's wisdom. You don't have to lead on empty. You don't have to rise alone. You were built to lead, to heal, and to thrive from the inside out. Until next time, lead well, heal deep, and walk boldly. This is Dr. D signing off.